Joining us on the couch, got the champion, the man of the people, Walsh.
What's going on?
Welcome to the couch.
Thanks for having me out.
I have one question for you, Walsh. How much Halo 2 have you played this week?
Not enough.
Not enough, to be honest. I mean, I just played, actually, when I first got here on, was it Wednesday, did I go over and play for a little bit? I think I went and played for about 3 or 4 hours on Wednesday. Then what you guys hosted on, was that Thursday night?
Yep.
And then that's it.
I heard sides been nonstop.
Yeah. Also, how do I turn up the volume on this guy? Is there a way to?
Oh, they'll get you in the back.
Okay,
you
sweet.
took over Mikowski's headset. He's very peculiar about his game sound. But already, what are you thinking so far? Seeing this OpTic Gaming squad, Spacestation, what's your predictions?
I mean, to be honest, I got pulled off and had to do some content and some other things, and so I've been missing most of the games, unfortunately. So that's I'm glad to actually finally be out here and watching the matches.
Well, let me give you a TLDR.
Yes.
Lucid might be the best sniper player in the world right now. I don't think we've seen him miss a shot with the weapon. It should have been a guaranteed flag catcher for Spacestation to tie the game. He goes up, double shot, boom, boom, heady. They go down to the respawn screen. Lucid's been unbelievable. I mean, right now, I think this is the best Lucid in OpTic Gaming I've looked.
And then who got game one? Because I saw that was one thing I caught before I had to head out, but it was it ended up with a tie on Recharge King of the Hill.
Yeah.
Who won the replay?
Spacestation.
SSG did.
Yeah.
Okay, so SSG started off 1-0.
What'd you think about that? There was 40 seconds left on the clock. They're like, we're gonna play for a tie?
It's madness. I guess it feels like when you're seeing these top teams now play this mode, it feels like it's just gotten to these weird stalemates where I don't fully understand why they don't have more of an opportunity to step in the hill.
Yeah.
But clearly it must be a numbers game where they're saying, all right, as soon as a person steps in the hill, they're going to die, and all of a sudden they have a 3-on-2 or a 4-on-2, and then they just go roll over.
I think more often than not, we saw like 2-1 victories on King of the Hill.
Yeah.
It's an interesting combination. Would you like some water, Walsh?
Sure.
There you go.
Thank you.
What's crazy right now is that
room
OpTic are 150-0 right now. So SSG, known to be a damn good Strongholds team, but man, OpTic, they stepping up when it matters most. They finally want to break the curse.
This map is, we're gonna, like, we see 154-0, and then soon we're gonna see 154-154, and then this map is crazy back and forth all the time. I'm sure we're gonna see it here, but yeah, OpTic, you're absolutely right. OpTic have been playing phenomenal, so I wouldn't be surprised if they close this out quick.
Also, Dead Zone. Dead Zone specifically, it felt like, you know, he's been called out, feels like some past events, where it's like, oh, look at his KD on this one game or like this pivotal game, and that doesn't tell the full story whatsoever, but it feels like anytime I have been looking at his stats, not that's the full picture, he's been popping off.
Oh, yeah. And he was sick, too, apparently.
Yeah,
he had the flu, too, which is crazy.
Yeah, people have been joking about, like, where's his Jordan flu game? It's like, he's been having the series. Like, he's been playing fantastic.
He's been having a whole tournament ever since Friday. Like, he's looked unbelievable for the team. He led the Slays just a game before, and, well, this is their run. This is what they've been waiting for. OpTic Gaming, they need to make it happen. One thing about this map, though, what I feel like happens is one team gets a big old run. The other team comes and it's like, okay, this is our chance. We're going to get a big run. And then it's like the last 50 points, it's like, okay, who's going to get it done? It really is like a first to 50 to me.
Yeah, it's quite odd. Like, I don't know what the fix is there on this as well. It just, it feels like either you need some more coverage over at like bunker or carbine side for some of those teams spawning, or the map just needs to be like 25% bigger or something like that, so people can't get to like both sides as quick. But it feels like, you know, this person over here in tower, whether they spawn bunker, they have the perfect position, or if they just need to like sprint over real quick to long haul, they can all of a sudden pressure carbine and they can still shoot out the outside catwalk. So I don't know what it is, but clearly it's a bit too snowbally for the team that's in control.
I agree. 4 dead for OpTic already. It seems like SSG are making a run back here just a bit.
They got that war down at the perfect time as well. It was about to be a triple capture for OpTic. Instead, Spacestation completely changing the situation for their team. And, well, here we go. It's been a run, and it continues to go. OpTic Gaming are just struggling to get their feet underneath them.
And I can't tell what the play is to get out of here. I've seen sometimes where they'll like try to push somebody out right away over towards like Engine 1 or Nest when they're spawning over a bunker, but I just still don't see any consistent method. it's like, all right, hopefully they get somebody out that gets a sneaky angle, but you can't really sneak out too far. They know the only ways you have is the bridge up towards top center, or sorry, the ramp up towards top tower, or you go up towards engine.
You somehow got to get him out.
You always have like no height advantage everywhere you go.
Exactly.
You somehow have to get them out of Whitehall. If a team has B and C control and they're in your Whitehall, they're going to punish you every single time.
Or we just throw madness out here. Throw a portal in the back of bunker left. Go out to go out to Carmine or something like that.
We got to go back to the roots.
Woodham's got he's got a split gate.
That's the next equipment that we need in the game. You know what I'm saying? Let's get some portals going over here. Overshield's coming on. You got to head out, Tony. You have to. Hey, let's go. And Mikowski's coming in. A quick swap out. Have a good day, Tony. Welcome back to the couch, Mikowski. And well, Space Station. We thought they were going to be down and out. Suddenly, they're right back into it, and unfortunately,
oh my God, they're
we'll
up.
have to reset the game. I don't think they want the game to reset. They're ready to go.
They're not happy for a reset there, but also I didn't see when that lag out happened. It very well could have led to OpTic getting control again, but we don't know. And this is the time that I'm thankful that I am not the TO, because I'm just like, these are difficult spots to make judgments in. You have to at some point decide exactly when that person lagged out. You can't take other things into context. You can't be like, well, they had 2 snipers and overshield.
And of all the game modes, Strongholds is the most difficult to reset from. It's not like a King of the Hill or a CTF where it's
even King of the Hill. One thing I've been arguing before is like, some teams are better on other hills, and you have to play that very first hill off the start, and all of a sudden you're like, man, like they either have the better side of the start, or they just know how to play that hill better, and that can be tough.
That's what happens with SSG and OpTic. It was that battery
that first hill again.
Yeah, it was SSGs, and then SSG and then SSG came and got the next 2. So.
Yeah. I feel like when we set the score, now that we can set the score, at least for King of the Hill, it should set the hill to whatever the score was. That's still not even a perfect solution because you have
unequal spawns on that one. But yeah, I don't know what the maybe it's like maybe the compromise there is that hill spawns in like 25 or 30 or like 30 seconds later.
I like that.
And so it gives people a chance to it's not just right off the break, but they get a chance to fight for different positions and weapons, and then that hill pops up or something.
Hey, I mean, if where's the commish? We can try to get this going right now. I never even thought about that, but it'd be brilliant because you want to give both teams the equal opportunity to fight for possession of spawns, and then once they're able to do it, put it up. Let's get it going.
Yeah,
I think that'd be perfect. We do the same thing with like overshield. Yeah, because they do the same thing with like overshield camouflage. Like they put the timer on it.
Yeah.
How's your weekend been so far, Dave?
Weekend's been great. I mean, it's been the wildest tournament as far as like matches and upsets go. I'm not gonna lie, there's a lot of Fridays or pool plays, or especially the open bracket teams that jump into pool play and then just get slapped. And it's like quite the opposite here. You know what I mean? Like you get Alpha Esports coming out of open bracket and solidifying their spot into Worlds and into winning that match in pool play, or win those 2 matches I'd say in pool play. You have a squad like Space Station who went from almost getting knocked out 9 through 12 versus Cloud9 in elimination bracket round 1.
2 kills.
We almost lost the 1st seed and the 3rd seed in elimination bracket round 1. We almost lost Pure and Space Station. But like the amount of just upsets that we've seen here, Complexity versus OpTic, it's been incredibly interesting. And like as a spectator or a commentator, it's incredible. Like I would hate that if I'm a player. I'm just like, oh man, like you want that consistency, you want to know what's going to happen.
Right.
But as a spectator observer, it's just like, it's brilliant to watch.
Yeah, when we were talking to Barcode and Jimbo, they were saying this is the tightest the competition has ever been, in their opinion. And I was wondering if you felt like it was the same way back in Halo 2, Halo 3, when the years went on. Did you feel like the competition in those bottom ranks got better, or did you feel like the top really separated itself?
It depended on different eras. I felt like towards the very end of something like Halo 2, definitely got separated quite a bit. It was just like, it was kind of like us, Straight, and Carbon at the very, very top, and then you had like a 5K or someone that could like challenge some of those squads. But it feels different here in kind of year 3 for Infinite, where you're starting to see just, these teams are even like 9 through 12 that can like quite literally challenge and beat the number 1 or number 2 seeds at this event. So I don't know what to make of that. Like, sometimes as you get closer to the final event of the year, you start to see some teams really get those better picks as they get the final rosters going into Worlds.
Right.
But this is a rare circumstance where we're starting to see all these teams. It's like, man, do we really have like 8 or 12 competitive teams that can really take off games off like the top 3 or top 4? Usually it's very top weighted. Usually you're like, oh man, seeds 4, 5, and 6 got way better or established themselves way better. But no, you have ITB, you have Alpha, you have Complexity, all these teams that really started to rise and shine at the final event.
Yeah, and because of that topsy-turviness in Salt Lake City, this might set up a world championship where you have multiple pools of death, because Sentinels will be a 3 seed and Pure will be a 3 seed, and these are teams that have been contending for top 4. So.
I was talking to Mind Freak, and they're like, "Yeah, we're looking at our pool. It's like we have Pure as our 3 seed in our pool, and it's like, I think
What?
I think Sentinels is like the. Who got 8th? Oh no, it's ITB. So it's like ITB, Pure, and then whoever wins this match. And I'm like, hey boys, it's a long flight. Might get here a little early. Get some good practice in if you can.
Yeah, we'd love to see like that practice come before Worlds. I know a lot of these teams that are outside of the U.S. kind of struggling to find matches with, certain connections and stuff. And Jimbo was talking about this, like maybe having a boot camp for those, because I truly feel like if you have like a LAN boot camp, because of how different it is than online, I feel like you get the best competition possible. And seeing that like right before Worlds, I know we don't have a lot of time to do something like that, but that'd be really interesting.
TLF told us that they didn't even meet up as a team of 4 on LAN before the tournament, but half the squad got to LAN before the event. They didn't even scrim a week and a half before this tournament, and they felt like that benefited them just having players on LAN before the tournament, and that really speaks to the difference between online and LAN. Dave, can you expound on that?
Yeah, I would say on LAN, when it comes to individual skill, you start to really know how and where you can press your advantages. Like, yes, your shots register better, but the one thing that people forget is other people's shots register just as good.
Yeah.
And so you start to realize, like, all right, when and where can I get away with this? Like, spots before where you might be able to, like, do another peek shot or round the corner, you're just dead instantly.
Yeah.
Or sometimes those dances at melee distance are a big difference maker. You've seen many times here, even the best of the best players, like I believe it was Legend versus Snakebite, got real close and just backed away, and Snakebite threw a melee out, threw out that T-Rex arm, doesn't connect with it.
Yep.
And I would say some of those individual pieces are very helpful to like just learn and feel that smoothness on LAN. I would say the only downside that ever really happens in LAN is if you're playing against one team too much and they have a specific play style, or you just get used to trying to counter that. And you've seen some teams come out of a LAN, like a 2-team LAN, and they're just like, oh, we got the perfect counter to how this team runs the flag here. And then they go play a team on that same map or mode, and they do something completely different and just wipe the floor with them. They're like, what the heck? We practiced for just this one specific play or style that this played against. So
that's a good point. Yeah.
I think that's really, honestly, the only downside of a LAN is if you're only playing against one team and they play a specific style.
That was part of the inspiration for the LAN network.
Yeah, TLN back in the day was like, all right, you play against 6 different teams and you aren't getting accustomed just to one style.
It was so cool. They had a main stage. They streamed it. It was so sick. I remember.
Yeah, I don't think we could get. I think everyone's too old now. They all got responsibilities. They're like, it's like I want to hang out with my significant other. I got kids. I got this. I got that. It's like a true job now. You can't just uproot and go and land out. I say my one thing I want to do is I want to get a cabin or some big camp like they do for Smash Brothers and just throw the Halo camp. You don't know what I'm saying? Go touch grass, we'll play 8s all day. Just let everyone be in the cabin, mingle again.
So I played this arcade game quite a bit called Killer Queen Arcade, and they do a few retreats like that. And they'll do like
me you tonight, bro.
Yeah,
Killer Queen tonight. I'm so
corners.
down.
They got the spot. One of my friends out here, they have a cabin in their garage, and so they.
That's sick.
So I'm gonna go land some Halo 2 tonight.
Oh yeah.
But back to like that retreat mentality, they do that every so often. A couple times a year, they'll like just go get like a couple mansions somewhere, and then just like set up a cab or 2 in the houses, and just hang out, games Killer Queen, go on hikes, do whatever.
That's awesome.
That'd be so sick. Here we go into the reset. Look, they set the score. One of the best things about the new update, the Halo Infinite, we know exactly where we're at. 183 for Spacestation, 164 for OpTic, but you cannot replicate the position that the teams were in, and this map can quickly change to one team's possession.
Absolutely, and just these initial kills there with Formal and Lucid falling, going for that initial OS. Now this is just going to turn dire here for OpTic. there's not much you can do about this OS. They're long gone are the days that you bait this OS into running and getting back smacked or something like that. These players are too aware.
Yeah.
They're just gonna sprint right past, kill your teammate, turn around, trade a melee with you. Like, it just rarely ever happens. And look at this, Space Station about to put 2 on the board, 3 hills on the board for a short period of time.
Answering back here. It was the 4 dead for OpTic at one point, and it allowed SSG to push down into the hill. Now OpTic are answering back with his C-cap. But the crowd is crazy here. You have to admit, like, this crowd is the highest energy I've seen since season 1, which is nuts to hear.
I mean, it's also been one of the most special venues we've had kind of thus far.
That's true.
Like, just the amount of booths and interactivity they have for the spectators, I think that's just really special. It's something that should be,
a staple.
you know, yeah, it should be the staple. People, like, organizers should be looking up to this and saying, okay, what can we learn from Space Station, how they did this event? Even if it's something that you're not interacting with, even if you don't care about doing, like, the trick skateboarding stuff, it's fun to have those options for people and just something to, like, look at and experience.
I 100% agree. We didn't see many people using that stuff on Friday, Saturday, but Sunday today, there's people everywhere. They're using all the cabs. Like, it's cool to see. I love it.
Speaking of which, Boo Boo called out on Twitter. He was like, who wants some pickleball chow? So one thing I did as well is after the cast, I went back to my room, changed, got some different shoes on.
Oh, you're ready.
I got to take my wins right and get them against Boo Boo.
I love that. I love that.
But I also might just be surprised. Boo Boo might just smoke me in pickleball and I'll just be hurt.
Bound has another overshield. It feels like it's been 4 minutes of continuous overshield possession for Bound. It's back-to-back, but with how efficiently he's been playing it, it almost feels like that as Space Station are running a trip cap to a potential Game 4 victory.
Yeah, this is just, it's Jover, right? I mean, they're contesting B and C, but cannot get there quick enough.
Wow.
Got ourselves a tie series.
This is crazy. I honestly thought OpTic was just gonna run away.
Wow.
But
the crowd.
Yeah, it's. I mean, you had that so many times where the crowd, like, really, I'm sure, affected.
Absolutely, yeah. I always
you know?
felt like every event I went to, I felt like it was like crowd favorite, which is always really special.
You're like, I've always been the wonder boy. You know? It's like, never had to play against the crowd. You know, it's like every other team. It's like this is something new. This is why I'm so glad we have Space Station, right? It's like it used to be like pretty one note with OpTic Gaming just because of how powerful that organization is. But with Space Station, they built those grassroots foundations early on. And, you know, it didn't start overnight, but now we get here and, well, their fans are going note for note against the most popular esports team in console esports. Like, this is incredible to see.
And we don't generally get to see a crowd be favoring a team and then one member of the team go to a different team and the crowd favor that team. And that happened with you. Final Boss to Instinct. It was like Final Boss, and then when he was on Instinct, Instinct was the fan favorite. The crowd went crazy. I mean, I remember that very, very clearly. That was great.
I think I always did a good job of investing in the community and spending time with fans and do all that sort of stuff. And so I think, like, it just adds up over time. I think people are like, wait, how do you get fans and stuff? It's like, I don't know, just little by little, like, talk to a random fan at the event or just be a good example. And so I think that was really helpful. Like I said, I always felt like a crowd favorite, and it really propelled, and it does help. Like, when those players are saying that, it feels like they're going through, like, the routine answers, like, want to thank the crowd, we want to thank our sponsors. It's like, no, but for real, like, when there's nothing more frustrating when you're getting, like, killed and destroyed, and then you hear the crowd roaring, and all of a sudden, like, no, this sucks, no, it feels like everything's crumbling.
Also, what do we need to do to get Walshy on the villain arc? You know what I'm saying? You've always been the fan favorite, but now it's like we got to get you back in. At Vegas, we got to hear the boos. So we got to find some way.
I don't think so. I think I'll be a fan favorite. And, like, that's the best part too. Is like I seem to get away with murder. It's like I talk shit to other people. I get away with it. People are like, well, she's such a great humble guy when he's telling other people they're trash.
It's like taking candy from a baby.
Even that was wholesome somehow.
It was. It actually was. Oh, goodness.
Who's your favorite villains in Halo's history? You know what I'm saying? Because you've always been having that crowd behind you, but you've had those matchups where you know, there's some people on the other side that get under some skins.
Who are the favorite villains in Halo's history? I mean, like, I'm just trying to think who they were just as we go through Halo's history. Like I guess you got to think like a Gandhi, T-Squared were some kind of like early villains.
Gotta be Zios, right?
I got into
Zios was your first arch nemesis,
yes,
right?
Zios
It's called
was
teamwork, Achi.
Zios was good. He had some good chirp backs. He didn't back down. He was like a worthy adversary in like Halo 1, early
Intense
Halo 2.
too,
Yeah,
like very
like
intense.
respect for that for him.
Yeah.
And then I think like it seemed like it got tame after a while, but I felt like Gandhi, T-Squared, Zaus would be like my OG nostalgic ones.
Toilet paper, I'll never forget that. Toilet paper, remember that? Never forget that.
It got tame when the headphones got introduced because you used to play on the CRTVs, no headphones at all. So if someone was talking smack across the way, you heard every little bit of it. So for me, at least, that was.
And I feel like the game advanced to a part where, like, at some point, like, if you're getting a kill, you can't just be screaming over the other side. Like, if you're still alive, your teammate's like, yo, what are you doing, brother? I just lost a 1v1 because of you.
Hey, bro. That is tools at the LV2 Orlando land. It's 17-15, and he's standing up like the game's over.
Hey, we win the game or do we not win the game?
That's what matters. I got crap for that before. I remember at one point, like, when I was back in FB and, like, I was doing dual needlers on T-Squared, they're like, we barely were up. We only had kills. Like, that's what won us the game, my friend.
And no one forgot that ever, okay? There's not one person that forgot that moment that was there. So
let's say we won the game. We took a break, and then I went and talked to them after because we lost the series. They're like, "Thank you for talking shit," because they're like, we all locked in after that game. I was like, maybe a little bit too early this time. Maybe a little bit too early.
Meme. Oh man. All right, here we go. Game 5 starting off here. It's a Slayer on recharge. OpTic Gaming regaining after the loss to Space Station. But hey, OpTic Gaming had a great start in the previous interference Strongholds. So we got a little bit of work left to do to take a lead in this series. Up by 2 for now.
And I feel like last time we saw Stellar in this almost exact same position as he was playing against Shopify here on Recharge Slayer, he was totally ineffective here with this shock rifle. Not saying that that's going to be the case here. It just felt like, usually when I see Stellar, I'm like, all right, he has, 6 shots left. He's going to hit 4 headshots here. And so to see him in a spot where he just isn't getting at least 3 or 4 kills with that is just uncommon for the standard that he set for himself.
100% agree. Every time you think of Stellar, you think of best sniper player in the game. And there we go. It's starting. And that shock, you can put some body damage in, but once again, Dead Zone comes through. 5-0.
Dead Zone's 5-0, man.
5-0.
Zane, if OpTic wins this tournament, he's the MVP.
Absolutely.
Oh, look, he held that camo into his body, said, hey, I'm going to pop this after I get the kill. And he was a one-on-one in an island. That's so much confidence from Eco to not even try to play for the burn, but to play for a game-winning play.
Also, is it just me, or am I just noticing this more? But like, how many times people are getting these trades with sticky grenades and spike grenades that we weren't seeing before? It just feels like people have like practiced. I remember seeing Renegade one time specifically. I want to say it was in control room here on Recharge. He's not even ready for this person, but as he starts getting the shot in the back, he hits a G slide, goes directly at that person, and just chucks it at him. Like, he missed that one time, but just point being that his initial instinct is slide toward this person, try to stick for the trade versus just getting like a melee trade or something.
Yeah, they're kind of hard to throw in this game. I always have a hard time left-handed nades. Like, it's so weird. The left hand.
Halo 5, it came right out the center. You know, you get used to all that. Like, you play that for so long. And left-handed, it's like, it's a whole new world.
I'll say that's one of the biggest changes too, like as I've been playing a little bit of Halo 2 recently, like just the nade physics in each game is so different. Like it's one of the toughest things to get used to. Like besides movement and stuff, like shot-wise, yes, you might have a different style or different like acceleration, different things that you get used to. But for me, it's just more like I either overthrow by like 100 yards as I'm like jumping into a game that I've been playing recently, or I like just throw it like 50 yards short. It's like no in between.
That was my takeaway when I played on Thursday in the Halo 2 throwback land from SSG and Overnight Oats. Thanks to them again for hosting that. I'm like, man, I feel like I'm weak. I got to do some curls. my stickies don't go as far as I remember them, and they really. And that was one of the things I noticed about Strong Side was his nades were so on point. It's like he never skipped a beat.
Same, yeah. I feel like I've been getting a little more warm on that over this last week or two as I've been grinding a few Halo 2 games. But like that was one of the first things I was like, I need to almost like run around a map and just throw some grenades because the physics are so different, the distance they travel is so different.
Yeah.
So I would like to go back to the old school nades because modern games, they like to put these little, they're like, hey, we got physics. We can use them. We can make little crevices in the ground. And we can make your nades bounce back look at you when you try to put some on the floor. I'm like, can we put like a nice clear layer of ice everywhere on the map so that if I throw a nade to bounce it, it doesn't ever bounce back? Or I hate the worst one is when you throw it on the ground, it just sticks there. And you're like, how? Is there a puddle? Like, what's going on here?
Warlock was the worst at that. I noticed that when I was going up against Lunchbugs and Elamite, trying to finish them off where this frag spawn, or the stickies, I forget. And the water around there, it'll eat your grenades up. So you got to make sure you toss it over and skip rock.
That was an intended, like, that to me was cool because it was like an intended feature. Like in these, it's like every little tiny random thing
ramp
could throw
is safe.
it off.
Yeah, I was calling out so many times where I was like, I empathize with, like, I remember his APG throwing like what I felt like was a perfect nade, and it's like it just skipped off right to the side. I was like, all right, I feel for you. That is not what you intended, but what else are you supposed to do?
Yeah, I mean, the one thing I got from playing Halo 2 on Thursday is that I want midship back. That's what I got from it. I mean, I know they have the Inquisitor or something, but apparently there's like frame drop situation with it right now. So hopefully one day we'll get that back because I love that map to death. I think that should be in every Halo. I know we don't want remakes all the time, but if there's one, it's that one. Definitely.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think I played enough midship in my life. I'm not gonna lie.
Tools, you're H5 kid. You have not played enough midship in your life.
For me, it just depends on how it plays.
Two versions of midship in Halo 5. You know, it's like weird.
Yeah, different titles, the game just plays way too different. Like, for example, when I think of from Halo 1 to Halo 2, they had, it was longest versus elongation. Like, elongation just played bad, and Halo 2 just wasn't made for it. And I almost side with Tools on this one. I'm not sure if midship plays well here in Infinite.
Maybe like a truth, like a bigger
maybe
one?
I think there has to be something a little different to it because just too many open sight lines there, and these players just their shots, they're just going to lay down a few shots and just go three people sprinting up pink.
My ideal world for the next Halo is they remake every map that's ever been in competitive. It's there, and then we just rotate. We cycle through every year. It's like, okay, we're gonna pick like 5 that stay.
You don't want anything new?
5. Well, no, I want new, obviously.
Okay.
But I just want to have the option of rotating things in, getting it fresh, and then it's like, as long as it's been in competitive Halo history, then at least someone will know how to play it to start, so you don't have to like relearn a whole new map.
My dream is that like we have a Halo Battle Royale at some point, and that like it's almost all the maps connected, or something like that. You go through like a spot that's like, here's the area that's pit. And then you go from there, the Empyrean area, over to here's the midship area or whatever. And like all of a sudden, like, maybe it's not all directly one-to-one connected, but, different rooms, different buildings are those maps. And like, you're just so used to those spots. And like, imagine you get into a fight with somebody there and you know how to rotate around. Like, wouldn't that be the sickest thing ever?
It would be. It would be really cool. All of LVT behind. I gotta ask you about something. BXR and double shot and quad shot, obviously. We've had this conversation, I don't know if with these guys, but I've had this conversation with many people. What do you think about in the future Halo if they had some sort of like a fighting game type system where those were doable, but it was very difficult to do? Like you had the button combos, the BXB, maybe a double shot, maybe something similar, but it brought that like button combination system back to Halo, but in a very difficult way that they taught you maybe in a tutorial or something, and then maybe slowed down the game as well, because I think with the game's pace right now, and that would be a little too much.
Yeah, I think there's a couple different ways to approach that idea. Like one, what I've seen from fighting games is they've done stuff where sometimes you have like easy combos. Like they have something where it's like you can do this combo in an easier fashion, but all the pros go to like the manual input way to effectively, execute that. And I don't know, I don't know exactly which title has that, but I've heard that before. So there could be a compromise like that where like maybe this doesn't isolate the whole community being like, you have to be able to do this or you can't really compete.
Yeah.
Instead, it still gives a way for it to be welcoming to newcomers. And at the highest level, you have that skill gap. Other ways I've thought of that before is also like in, let's say, a mode like MIDI bomb, like where you're arming a bomb, like maybe there's a way where you're getting flashed up like different button combos. Like the faster you do that, the faster you arm,
awesome.
Or the faster that you maybe capture the hill or something like that. I think there could be different ways to like add in like that button combo mechanic into a game and have it not feel like it's janky or busted, you know what I mean? Because I feel like some people look at that and like, oh, well, it's broken that way. And obviously the people that got to the highest level of like a Halo 2 or something appreciated that because, like, all right, there's this new skill that I was able to learn, and it was fulfilling to execute in game.
Exactly.
But yeah, you just need to find that middle ground of like, how does this translate into the game? Whether that's, like I said, arming a bomb, or like maybe it's an extraction. Like an extraction, maybe it takes 5 seconds with you not hitting the combo as fast, but maybe it takes you 3 seconds if you're just like, oh, wizard, and you're like up, down, like hitting like the Contra combo or something.
I think one thing that you said really well that a lot of us forget is the casual community. I think that's the most important thing for Halo.
100%, and I think that's something that's been rougher in many recent titles for Halo. I think it's very difficult for a newcomer to get into Halo and make it their game, and they have to go through. Imagine if they've ever played any Halo before, like they have to go through countless hours of just getting destroyed in matchmaking, trying to learn the call-outs, trying to learn the maps. There's just so much old endemic knowledge in there, and it's got to be completely overwhelming for a newcomer in there.
That's why my kids don't play it. They play Roblox instead.
It's really what made the classic Halo so special. One of those elements, I think, Dave, was easy to pick up, hard to master. And that element, I think you look across at the best games, whether it's a board game, a sport, gaming, competitive gaming, whatever it might be, that's an element that I think caters to the casuals and grows a very, very healthy competitive community as well.
Yeah, I think Halo is missing that. I think it's missing the easy to start or easy to get into mindset. And also even just like when you think about the gameplay loop compared to some of the other competitive games, like when I think of an arena game like Halo compared to a battle royale like Apex, I think of worst thing that happens to Apex is you die, and then you get to get right into a brand new game. Halo, you could be taking a beating for 12 minutes straight before that game finally ends. They could have 4 out of 5 flags capped in Aquarius, and you're losing for another 3 minutes before that game is over.
That's why I'm obsessed with chess at the moment. Like, anytime I get on chess, it's like, hey, play a game, I'm done, I'm right back into the next one. And I wish there was like more of that aspect in Halo. I wish there was a surrender, to be honest. Because sometimes I go with my teammates, I'm like, they're on the mic, they're not having fun. It's like, I'm not having fun. Let's all get out of here. You know, let's all agree to go separate ways.
And that's just like a difficult one to solve because just the nature of like an arena shooter like that, it's, you can't just. It feels at some point for the matchmaking experience, you almost do want to pull that plug and be like, all right, how can we get out of this game quicker or earlier? But same time, like, you see these top teams come back all the time, or you have those moments in matchmaking where you make a sick comeback. And those are very, very awesome moments that are very rare and very fleeting.
Well, it looks like they figured it out. We're back in. Set the score 15-11, but OpTic Gaming might just get a great second chance.
I don't know if
here.
I've ever seen 2 go sliding right for camo. You know what I mean? It's almost 2 targets that they have to choose between shooting.
That could have been the coach realizing, hey, they didn't throw nades towards pit last time.
Yeah.
Let's just send 2, get it in, get it out. And, well, Formal, he's stayed alive this entire time with camouflage.
They clearly saw something because that was an unorthodox start there from OpTic Gaming, but the unconventional strat gives them the camo, and now just a 4-kill deficit as they're starting to cut into that lead.
I like this rotation from Formal. He's trying to be unpredictable.
Camo is never safe in Salt Lake City. This is so aggravating. Every single time, Camo gets maybe 1 kill or 0 kills. It just gets shut down.
Camo's getting spotted when players aren't even moving now.
That is insane. I remember seeing one where Descendant was hiding in the corner with Camo on live fire, and he just gets spotted out. And I was like, what happened? Like, I assumed it hadn't been a death screen. I want to almost find out what happened there. But
sometimes the teams, they'll just go ping, 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 ping.
Yeah, if you spam ping and you happen to cross the invis player, it will light up as an enemy. So
What?
they literally will just spam
How did I
ping.
not know that?
So if you're on the other team's POV in observer mode, sometimes you'll just see the kill feed light up with pings, and it's like, oh, well, they're trying to find camouflage right now.
With the way that this has been playing at the highest level, I'm almost in favor of just letting the camo person be full camo the entire time, even when they're shooting. Let them shoot while they're camo, because we're not seeing camos like Dominator.
It's not a
right now.
power-up anymore. It doesn't feel like it.
That would
It
be
feels like
insane.
you're just a target.
Yeah.
I feel like it's okay to radically change how camouflage works, though. It's like, let's make it so it only pops up when you sprint, and you can have
Something
freedom.
like that, yeah. Maybe you can shoot, like, I forget, because even, I'm trying to think of how it interacts in Halo 2. Like, Halo 2, I think you can still nade without showing up. Is that correct?
I think it's Halo 1 that was like that.
Halo 1's, okay, so you do show up a
Halo
little bit in
1's
Halo 2.
camo was goated, though.
Yeah,
Okay.
Halo 1 had insane camo. It was like you could melee, throw grenades. You just only would show up if you shot, basically.
Yeah.
I was talking with Eli about that, Dave, the other day, and I said, Camo's not a power-up anymore. It's an Ed Hardy straight ripping t-shirt from 2007 with all the rhinestones and glitter. You couldn't miss that. 22-17, now 18, as this one's been back and forth between 4 and 5. Slay advantage for Space Station, but Trippy has the shock rifle, and with 2 shots left in it, let's see if we can put it to use.
4 kills is a lot in Slayer at this level.
Especially how slow this game's going.
Yeah. OpTic have been outstanding in it.
Correct me if I'm wrong, how much time started on the clock here?
So they did adjust the timer for the clock to start at the so they round up to the minute on that it was
starting around like 8 minutes or something like that.
That should affect the timer. You know, it's a little bit weird. Like the camouflage, sometimes you're used to coming up at
that's a little bogus.
Minute. I mean, it shows up on the screen anyway, but it can throw players off, being like, oh, I need to start getting position for camo.
At least it's looking like it's on the even minute, which I think is fine for the players.
He might actually be pacing for time here. Look, we're not even at the halfway mark in total for both 2 teams, and we're already less than 5 minutes to go, so keep an eye on that clock.
Yeah, these teams just are both like squads that have that infinite patience. I never had that in Halo. I'm just like, guys, let's get this going. Come on, let's start a fight.
No,
like, I've never been the player that can just like sit back, not really look at anything, and be like, all right, like let's wait this out for 45 seconds, next power up. I'm like, I just want to create some action. Let's have some fun.
They're just like poking and prodding, trying to find a small advantage that they can use to push. Like right there, Bound actually
Both
pushes
sides,
off the damage, but it actually trades out. Ormal gets one.
It was funny to see that mirror, because like you said, it happened on both sides. You saw Stellar push in through the big door, and then, Dead Zone get pushed over at big door, and then Stellar has his own opponent coming into the other way. It's
Both
like,
up there so smart, like, we got our trap set perfectly, and then, like, yeah, people go rolling into elevator, people go rolling around over at Long Haul, or...
Whoa!
Switch to Eco, because he's got the shock. Oh, but he goes down right after. Guys, the more and more this game passes on, the more I see it going to time. We're still not even into the 30s yet, and there's only 3:45 left on the clock. That's going to create an interesting dynamic in the final 90 seconds.
Yeah, and OpTic at least have camo shock here, so we know camo's good for 1 kill, and that's about it.
Drop shock while camo? That's a little insane.
Trippy's one of the best with it.
He wants to go free with his camo, and he doesn't want to potentially give them shock rifle.
He saw him.
I was just going to say, totally
He said,
busted.
I'm camo. It's like, it's literally nothing.
It feels like as soon as you make 1 move with the camo, like you don't really have options to go elsewhere. Like, yes, he could go do the jump up from double box or over at C-plat, but you're spotted once, and it feels like camo either doesn't have the length it needs during the standoff times. Like, I don't know what it is.
That must have felt like algebra to so many people, but the missing equation, right, it was Lucid. He hasn't missed a snipe shot all series long, and well, he hits 3 in that process while Camo's going free, so hey, look at this. We're basically tied. Space Station takes a short lead, but that aggressive Camo play worked out well for OpTic Gaming.
And handing off the shock to the man that's literally not missing. I mean, it's like it doesn't matter who has camo, just give it to Lucid.
You got to clean this up here. Don't let Bound get away. That's going to be a frustrating moment for OpTic if they don't, but Lucid does in fact clean him up. 2:30 left on the clock. It's 33-31. This one's not reaching 50.
Oh, these teams have made it so slow. There's just no chance, like you said, at this point. You're not going to get 17 kills in 2.5 minutes, so it's going to be the losing team or the team that's behind that's just going to be charging and charging, especially at the last 45 seconds. They're not going to force anything right now, but a 4-kill lead's starting to get to that spot where you don't want to wait till the last push.
Definitely have to start thinking about making your move earlier.
You want to get to maybe like a 2-kill, you know, if it's within 2 kills or something, then you can wait till like maybe the last 30 seconds and be like, all right, we need a 4v2.
Whoa!
Last they want to extend that lead.
Now OpTic forced to overextend because of the situation. Stellar, though, seeing it clearly, pushing in with that shock rifle. Has a weak opponent there in front of him. Dead Zone. His forward teammate is now dead. 3 go down again on the stacks, and Space Station looks primed to take game 5.
Pretty sure that was a Bound triple kill. And that's also one thing that's so dangerous is you get them in the mindset that they're not going to charge. They're just going to sit back and wait out this time. But then someone like Bound comes rolling around the corner the second that you're weak. And you don't know what to do. You're like, wait, should we be watching our flank and letting them make a mistake? Do we need to be the aggressor? And all of a sudden, the game's over.
What a sprint here from Space Station Gaming. 8-kill lead. OpTic Gaming with 60, 70 seconds left. Lunchbox has got to be telling the boys to go, 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 but that's a disadvantage for OpTic. Space Station's going to play into that and bait these pushes in. They know Formal's coming.
Yeah, it's just over at this point. I mean, Space Station's just too good. Even if you had 5 minutes on the clock, I don't know how Space Station really loses this lead. As they get to like that 45 mark, they know how just to go in for more trades. They're going to be comfortable just getting close and closing the gap and saying, yeah, I don't care if I'm up a shot. I'll still just trade out this kill.
OpTic actually, they would have to get a perfect push
it's
right
a 4-kill game, 1 possession. OpTic has a chance.
They would have to get a perfect push right here. Legends. He's going to get staggered.
3 kills.
This is actually doable.
There's
This is
the
actually
trade. What?
So
25 seconds left.
Formal's on a hell of a run right now. I don't think he's died. I think he might be on 5 or 6 in a row. Lucid's ready to push in. We got less than 20 seconds. The time is now.
They're flying in. They know there's plays in the elevator. There's one. It's still a 2-kill gap. Here comes the second. He has to challenge us. Lucid cannot just back
7
down
seconds.
from this. But
That's too
Foul
much
gets an
now.
answering kill. 46-48, and all right.
Oh my God!
That was still dangerously
Are
close.
you kidding?
And it does come down
That's
to time.
insane,
But boy, was
actually.
it close.
So now it all started with Formal. He was not losing a gunfight on the map. While we were talking about how they could slowly play the clock, he would just keep getting a pick here, a pick there, a pick there, and then, hey, let's start collapsing, maybe make some magic happen. A couple more seconds on the clock. Who knows how that would have ended.
Absolutely insane.
Gave themselves a chance, though. I mean, you got to tip your hat to that.
Yeah,
I mean,
that looked insurmountable.
Space Station went on what, like an 8-1 run as far as kills go, and they just like ballooned their lead out of nowhere. But then OpTic answered back with essentially the same level of run. That was just crazy back and forth.
And I wonder, like, that's where you almost start to wonder where if Space Station weren't just cowering in a corner and just like playing a little bit more normal. Because like at some point they're like, hey, we just can't give up 12 deaths over the course of these next 45 seconds. They're just running for their own lives instead of like holding down a spot, fighting normal.
Right,
but
yeah.
It's hard to know what to do there.
It's rare that, and this is those situations that don't really come up in scrims because nobody plays like this in scrims.
No.
Not even close. Like, they're just running it down, ego challenging constantly.
Hasn't Bound always been Adam for his player tag?
No, he's always like Demon or like...
He changed it to God.
Yeah, it's usually Demon or God. He's always going with some deity. You know,
He's a very humble man, clearly.
Yes. I'll tell you what.
You have to be almost psychotically confident, though, to compete at the highest level. Dave, can you speak to that? Like, because you always had that very nice and approachable persona, but did you ever have to dig in deep and kind of bully people to win all those championships back-to-back times 40 with Final Boss?
I mean, you absolutely have to have that level of confidence. I mean, if you go in challenges, because whether it's a single fight you're going into or whether it's the decisions you're making, you have to be confident that, you know, the path that you're going on is right. The way that we're learning, the way they're approaching things, you have to, like I said, have that confidence or ego to challenge somebody during a match. And I think it's just the nature of any sort of competition, you know, whether it's a sport, whether it's an e-sport, anything. Like, I think if you are to ever be the best, there's no way that you don't have at least a high level of confidence. Like, it's a big confidence builder. It's a big ego booster.
I'll say when I talked to Bound on Thursday, I said, hey, you want to 1v1 Walsh for $100? He's like, he said, I think I could take him. he looked at me very seriously. He's like, yeah, I think I'll win. Let's do this thing. And I was like, okay.
And he had never played.
You did say Halo 2, right?
Yeah,
you said Halo 2.
Yeah,
Okay.
I told him it was Halo 2. He said, I think I got it.
And he has never played Halo 2 in his life. So, I mean, think about that. At least think competitively.
Well, he's also the same guy. I think he also said he'd beat Zyos and Ogre 1 on Halo 1 or something like that. He said me and King Nick on Master Chief Collection against Ogre 1 and Zyos would win. He's like, I think it was his claim. And I was like, damn, that's a heavy claim.
I mean, King Nick is nasty at all the Halos. He competes in literally every Halo game.
You won a big CE tournament this year.
Yeah, I think with Ogre 1 on his team, if I'm not mistaken. So, but yeah, super confident. Yeah, I'm glad that you humbled him a bit, though, in that 1v1, just for the record. Well, he did put up a solid fight, though.
Yeah, no, it was like super close, especially at the beginning. I don't remember last time I played a 1v1. Strongside told me before, he's like, hey, do you remember like Small Trap? I was like, I don't remember. He's like, go top a ramp and just shoot him down Neela. Oh yeah, I kind of remember that.
Yeah. I remember Karma doing that to me. Funny story, the first 1v1 I ever played, was against Karma, the best 1v1 player, because I just like fought my way out of the pro bracket, and then it was 4 plays 5. I had 4th place points in FFA. He was 5th. I never played it. I was like, oh, you start with Carbines in this? We're on Warlock? Like,
you're also the favorite. You're high seed in that situation.
Yeah, I'm supposed to be the favorite. Yeah, no one's the favorite
Yeah, what
against
the hell,
Karma
Eli?
in 1v1s, unfortunately. But
You know, my biggest takeaway, and Dave, you can speak to this having played Bound in that match, Bound, despite not having sprint, despite not having curbs to slide off of, he still played at a feverishly fast pace. What was that like for you? Did you notice that? Did you see some of his Halo Infinite fall into Halo 2?
The shots are still good. Surprisingly, the movement's still incredibly good. I remember we had like a shotgun battle, and like he jumped up on ramp and then jumped up again, like jumped back trying to hit shots, and I was like, dang, like I feel like I'm still just like stumbling and tripping over corners and walls here. So for you to like just randomly hop on Halo 2 and like hit this perfectly, like the new kids are built different.
I feel like Bound sees a ledge. He's like, I think I can do something on this thing. Just give me a second here, and he'll go for it. More times than not, he'll hit it. Here we go. Game 6 in our best of 7. And Will Stellar, he's got himself the rifle that makes things happy.
this guy's been an absolute machine with this gun this weekend. I mean, he always is, but I feel like this weekend,
especially this map.
And this map, yeah, he's just been hitting the shots, and he's proving our point right now.
Yeah, like them against FaZe, like it was just astounding the fact that Stellar was just going and challenging a lot of these one-on-ones on Strongholds, and he just flies up with Sniper just knowing he's going to hit the no-scope. And it just seems like in many other situations, I feel like if I do that, I'm like, I'm just delivering a sniper to a player as they're capping my hill, and they're saying thank you at that point.
It's incredible to play that aggressive, because this is probably like the second hardest Halo game to no-scope in. I'd say like Halo 1 would probably be the only one that's a little bit harder. You get no aim assist.
Halo 1
controller.
No-scoping is pretty hard.
Yeah, I can't tell which of the most difficult, because on one part you want to give the FPS a nod to it, where it's like games that are like 30 or less FPS just have that kind of built-in difficulty around it.
Yeah.
Because I think even when people went back and played like MCC Halo 3, like they're no scoping like no other.
Yeah,
and it's completely different, I think, playing on like a 360 for that. So I think that has definitely a factor on there, like the fact that these players are playing on such high FPS and smoothness, and but yeah, they make it look easy. It's not like I'm going out and doing that, saying that it might be harder, still might be harder than some past 30 FPS games, but yeah, and I'm actually just surprised when these top players don't hit them almost at this point. I'm just accustomed like seeing Frosty, Renegade, Stellar, everyone just rounding the corner, going for the no-scope, hitting that body shot, and then finishing off, or even just hitting the headshot.
I think the difference is like people are learning how to play better when the other team has a sniper rifle. They're applying more pressure to the sniper, making his life extremely difficult. They don't want him to be able to have the freedom and comfortability to hit the no-scope. So I think teams are really just playing a lot better against it.
Yeah, they're definitely learning to play better against it, but still, it's just as they get in those mid-range or close-range battles, I expect it more often than not that the no-scope hits.
Yeah.
And that's just a testament to these top player skills.
It's scary when they stand still.
Yes, they stand still, they line it up. It's like body shot's not good enough for you? You gotta learn the headshot? Give me a break.
Oh, counter punch over to Trippy, and OpTic Gaming, strong answers at least early. And you want to keep this camo alive for the sniper that's coming up in just a few seconds, but unfortunately that's not going to be the case.
Legend working his way towards that oddball, but he's got an immediate focus in front of him. That's Lucid. Good shots into both players, sends them both down to low HP. Repositioning is Lucid, but he gets cleaned up as Legend takes the high side of Snipe Tower, now eyeing the Snipe possession for himself.
Also finding where that last player is. Know that Formal's up there, almost gets chowed and dies, but great job by Formal buying that much time. I don't know if that was a second Formal nade or a team nade there. We'll find out.
Bound now with the sniper, see what he can do with it.
Oh.
Same thing as his teammate Stellar.
We got to check the Halo data hive because I guarantee you we're going to see more no-scope medals than in any previous LAN in Halo Infinite history. It's been a consistent factor. We're probably about to see another one, but he doesn't land the shot, but does get the trade. 3 go down for Spacestation, and now OpTic can set up for this next hold.
You know what's funny? They GA the shotguns. Now they're just using the sniper like it's a shotgun. Like it's really all. That's what they've done.
Here in spirit.
Like there's still a shotgun in play. It's just in the skin of an S7.
Rare miss from Lucid.
He has been a monster today.
I also can't tell if like the ammo's right on Snipes, because on one hand, you almost want to, reduce the amount of ammo so someone can just go on this infinite run. But what ends up happening is whoever first gets sniped, they end up being able to use like the first 4 bullets, and they just close the gap. And then by the time the enemy team gets a snipe, they have like 1 to 3 bullets at max.
Yeah, Snake Bite's notorious for it.
Yeah, he's just like, I'll just waste the whole clip.
I hate this wall. Let me just spray it for a second. 4 shots in, and he likes to reduce it down to at least having 1 clip.
Yeah, and it almost feels counterintuitive, but I'm almost like, at this highest level, does it make sense to have like a 12 bullet or 16 bullet snipe, like force them to have to play it off? I don't know.
I'm so down. I would even let's put a minute longer on the timer for Sniper to come up. Give me 16 bullets.
That'd be insane.
Make this thing have to switch hands.
Yeah.
16, I think, is too much.
Yeah,
Maybe
16 is
12.
way too much, but I think David
They're not
changes. I think David changes with the dynamic of who's in the lead
And it depends on the
giving
teams as
back.
well. Like, and we're talking in respect to these 2 top teams
Yes.
playing. Like when you
Yeah.
go
Yeah.
against other matchups, it's like, all right, like this skews everything
It's
completely.
like we're in the lead. We don't need more sniper rifle ammo to extend it, but we don't want to give it to the other team to come back with it. I think that's a part of the thought process for sure.
And then there's a Smurf in the plat lobby that's going to get
So that's you, bro.
15 kills with
you.
1 sniper pickup.
imagine
Like, that's where it's problematic, right?
16 bullets in each on Argyle. 30 and a 32 ammo
Oh, my
Sniper.
gosh.
Here we go, Space Station. They're finally signing this separation. Largely came off that back smack on camouflage. OpTic Gaming just hasn't really been able to recover since then. And while tower control's been the play for both sides, but honestly, it's surprised that ball didn't go off the map. They decided to drop it down, and they're gonna fight for control instead.
I think that's strategical. I think Space Station wanted to play that out in no man's land, burn a little bit more time off the clock. Less than 90 seconds left, a 30-second lead for Space Station as the fight ensues. Sniper is up.
Wow, perfect grenade from Bounce. Don't know if that was because he knew he was there or just trying to open space for him to push through.
OpTic tossed that off there.
This is what I like about Lucid. He picks up anything and everything. He doesn't let something go on the ground. It always surprises me when I see players walk past a weapon and don't pick it up.
I agree.
Yeah, I was actually more surprised that we don't see that accidentally happen as well. Just like somebody like passing by, like they see it pop up on the screen, and it's like, oh crap, I accidentally grabbed Bulldog or something. But
Get you something to YY with, you know?
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if the GA includes picking it up entirely. Like, is it okay to have
I
a
would
secondary?
guess that they're okay. Like they would allow a mistake if someone grabbed that, just dropped the weapon, and just
I
never
think you'd
used
have
it.
to drop it right away.
Yeah.
Bound did do that with the Disruptor in the first weekend
Okay.
after the GA was announced, so I think
It's
there's
funny
some
that
wiggle
he was
room.
the one that
Yeah.
broke it, by the way.
Yeah, because he was the one that brought it up.
After
Right?
tweeting about it. 78-55 here, 30 seconds left in regulation. You can see Space Station playing for that center field positioning. Eco with another no-scope cross map.
That's dirty though. Like they have sniper up here, and they're tossing it over near dummies. Like that's such a good spot for it to be.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, Eli was talking about how teams are playing around Sniper now, and he's like, well, if we throw the ball out in the open, there's no playing around this thing. You're going to have to go for it.
Yeah.
Space Station are eyeing a bracket reset in the grand finals, looking to go back to back to back, and they're 1 round closer after taking this one here.
They reset the bracket.
This is dangerous.
Sorry, 1 round away. Yeah, this is
Dangerous here for OpTic.
It reminds me of Fort Worth, though. Fort Worth, OpTic Gaming had a bad Friday. Space Station got really hot in the grand finals. OpTic Gaming lost the first series and found their footing in the second best of 7.
But what about FaZe in the World Championship? They did not find their footing after losing that one. So
Yeah, very
there's-
rare to lose 8 in a row, though.
Yeah. Jeez. Can't let Stellar get the snipe off the start. That's going to mean more down for OpTic Gaming as Stellar's going to spawn snipe Trippy,
no.
send it back to the respawn screen. 20 total seconds, and Lucid's only been on the sticks for none of them.
What a spawn there. Was that at dummies or
spawn.
back mud?
Yeah, if you push a little bit too far out tower, that dummy side's open, doesn't matter. And
Yeah, I was gonna say I know that spawned before, but I guess like wasn't sure if that's due to the kill that just happened over at back green or a combination of that area being open plus the kill at back green. But yeah, that's I would say fortunate spawns for OpTic, but in the end doesn't matter.
They must have heard him or something, right? Like, how are they so prepared for Formal to be there in that moment? I think it's because the other members of Space Station had pushed so far into A that it's going to move the first spawner over there.
Also, I think teams aren't getting too comfortable nowadays when spawns have changed with bandits a little bit. They're like, hey, don't just assume it's 100% over here. Like, always have your head on a swivel.
Yep.
Especially on streets.
I think the crowd noise actually just made a difference there. The SSG crowd chants went loud. Dead Zone gets caught by a Kama dissipated off bound. So bound was on the other side of the pillar. Kama went away. I don't think he heard it. It just he gets easily shot in the back, and well, it was a good amount of time for Space Station off and finally getting their chance at the scoring. And well, who else that Lucid to have a little bit of the sandbox in? Little thing to know: you hold the pistol in your right hand, you can absolutely throw nades in your left hand while you got it charged up.
Like, or what was the other one? I think it was Halo 2, right? Where if you shoot the plasma burst, you can throw 2 grenades quick and rapid succession.
Yep, there's a bug where like if you throw it right after you shoot the charge, and people use it in speedruns to throw multiple grenades for grenade bounces now.
Nice. I'm just trying to remember or unlock all my Halo 2 knowledge in case I do the Halo 2 event in Vegas.
Yeah, get together with me, man. I don't know how I remember like
I got
so
unlocked
much
so many
stuff.
parts of my brain.
Hey, free agent right here, by the way.
I do have a team pass. I've already purchased it, so I need to figure out who my team is. I think I might do something with Best Man, but yeah, that's tough.
I think I can learn how to excessive shot in a week. You know, you let me in there.
BXR.
It's funny, so when people talk about quad chops and stuff, it's like, reality, quad chops weren't viable or really used at the highest level. Like
competitive,
You haven't seen me play yet, though. You know what I'm saying?
I use it in Pro FFA occasionally. Like if somebody's lifting up on midship, it's kind of like a free quad shot if you're confident with it. And
but even then, I still feel like you might do that if you're desperate for one shot. I feel like it's just like 1-2 double shot. Like in a case
it's
like
a lot
that.
easier. Yeah. Oh no!
Not getting that back smack.
Wow.
He went through the portal. I thought he was going to get disintegrated for a second.
Formal doesn't lose those often.
Well, Legend doesn't either. That's a problem.
I still think that counts as a no-scope.
Still
On
Eco,
Eco, but yeah.
He's last alive for his team. He gets 2, and it's like stops Space Station in its tracks.
Great play with a repulsor to maintain his life, maintain possession of that snipe. Still has 4 shots left to work with. And now OpTic, after taking 3 down for Space Station, have a chance to reclaim the lead.
That all started with Lucid getting 2 kills while last alive. This should have been ball time for Space Station. Every second is so painful here.
I was just going to say, too, I wasn't sure if he got those frag grenades over at bags, but I was like, if he didn't yet, he needs to like chuck his frag grenades, grab those ones off. I see so many remote detonation deaths over at the bags.
Because that spot is really good to play your life if the frags aren't there. But yeah, you're right. It's kind of a trap if they are.
Hey, you start putting your life out there, you just gonna start throwing them in the midair. It's like you gotta take them off the pad before they can shoot them.
At least zone control top center or something with some nades first.
Normal getting B spawns here for OpTic, and they're going to take the low ground, the tunnel system, to get quickly back onto that oddball at the dummy door. Now rotating maybe to the top A side of bags, it looks like. Yes, there's one. Oh, but you got to watch the flake. As Formal takes down Eco. Legend, though, continuing to score more ball time. They're now in the lead.
Ball out of bounds. Ball.
He slays back and forth 2 apiece. It's going to come down to this tower battle. And it feels like Space Station are going to lose this tower battle as Formal's cleaning up the crew, but nope. Stellar's going to get a pick. Gonna grab that sniper. Was there any ammo left in it? I don't think so.
Did you see bounce strafe?
Yeah, bounce strafe was insane there. It didn't do anything. It didn't make a miss, but it certainly made it feel hard. And Stellar's been alive, but his team just hasn't been able to get control of the map. OpTic Gaming get 3 down at the right moment. Camouflage up for grabs, and I wouldn't be surprised if Space Station aren't even able to stop Camo right away. I was hoping OpTic would maybe hold this camouflage for a little bit and try to just maximize a little bit more value out of it.
Feels like they're also not getting the time value they want right now. Feels like pressure's already on here against OpTic. Dead Zone forced to drop that ball and just throwing grenades at Keydor. Now grabbing it, but you gotta wonder if it's a mistake now to grab it since there's a couple players that can push on over from bags.
Essentially a 3v1 with Dead Zone holding onto the oddball as now he does drop it, but the second too late. You could make that case like Dave did as Formal goes down. Dead Zone does start to work that oddball out to a reset rotation hybrid out into center field, and with 70 seconds left, 10-second lead here for OpTic Gaming. This one's gonna come down to the final seconds once again.
Yeah, I don't know how Dead Zone's lived that long, especially once Formal got killed. Looks like Dead Zone was on a killing spree as that kill got traded out. He got a Killjoy medal against Dead Zone.
Well,
This is the chance for them to take lead. Oh, well, Formal, he's back. He's got Sniper in the hands, and better hide your heads.
1 minute remaining.
Oh, he's challenging this, Formal, but he knows his teammates have the support and the attention on them. That's why he made his push, but he still goes down. That player for SSG on the Walshy, now Lucid with the snipe in his hand. Still plenty of shots left to work with. QT going to be no matter as 3 go down for OpTic, and it looks like SSG are going to win this reset, but OpTic did play the oddball, so this is going to make it a little bit more tricky for them.
Yeah, solid play. At first I thought it was a premature play there by Lucid, but too many players there from Spacestation pressuring over at back green, and it is a tie game. Nobody's going to be volunteering to grab that first. They're going to look to get any sort of slate before grabbing it. However, it looks like Spacestation grabs it. 2 melee kills over in the tunnel, and this is where the battle's going to go down. Bound trying to break through. This is the last one alive. Somehow gets one, gets a second body shot. But that's going to be the crucial seconds going on the board. Now, when do OpTic decide to drop and slay?
With 1 second advantage, that's all they want. 10 seconds left in regulation.
That's too early.
Jedzone has to fight off this push, but Legend's too strong. He takes down his former teammate, repulses the grenade away, and takes down Formal. And SSG are going to send this to a grand finals too.
Oh my God. Unbelievably clutch in those end oddball games. I feel like there's so many times I've just seen SSG win those close oddball games where it's just second or two, they get the lead, they drop the ball in a spot that seems like not even that safe. Sometimes in rat tunnel, sometimes over in the garage.
Look at the series layout. So Space Station won the first, OpTic answered back with the next 2, and then 3 in a row for Space Station to force the reset. What an insane series. Can't wait to see the matchup in the next one. By the way, Walsh, while we still have you, a friend of mine texted me, said, ask Walsh where he got his jacket. It's so nice.
I got a secret location. No, I got to double check again. I think it's called Threads, and lately for some of my casting clothes, I've just been renting them.
Really?
Like I was like rent like some gear, wear them once, and then
it makes sense because then you don't fall victim of like wearing the same stuff. Yeah, that's smart.
So I think this was like threads.com or something like that. So.
Hey, Walsh, well, we're taking a lot of your time. Anything you want to say before you head out of here?
No, I'm just excited to grind some Halo 2 later tonight after this tournament's done. Gonna go play some of that over at SwiftKill's place. And
we'll be there.
Thank you as always for having me on the broadcast.
Hey, teach me how to double shot while I'm there, please.
Yeah, I got you.
I'll figure it out.
GG's, Dave.
We're gonna take a quick
man.
break, get some new people up on the couch, let everyone rotate through. So thank y'all. We got the reset coming up right after this.